Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to California Sportsmen. It's Saturday, October 19th, and you might have noticed there's just a little chill in the air out there. It's been chilly all over, and I'll tell you about freezing my butt off over in the Eastern Sierras later on this morning. I had a great trip over there, but there are great trips going every place. Nate Kells with Big Nate's Guide Service will get us up to date on Berryessa. Alan Fong's out fishing the Washington Outboard Club Derby this morning. We'll talk in with him and hook up on some stripers, hopefully, while he's talking to us. The Blind Squirrel found his way into the studio this morning. That's right, Derek Tate found his way in here. I gave him the option of fishing out in white caps and rough water, or maybe coming to the studio and participating here. He's a candy boy, just like me. I'd be in the studio, you can bet on it. We're going to, much like my next guest that's here live in the studio with me today, the Blind Squirrel. From the Blind Squirrel channel on YouTube, Derek Tate joins us live in the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, and thanks for talking me into coming in.
Well, you know, there's going out and fishing those days where you have a chance to catch a big fish this time of year. There's no doubt about it. But going out on your own, by yourself, where are your sons? You should have dragged those guys with you, forced them to go.
Sleeping.
Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly where you would be and I would be if I wasn't here. Sleeping. You know, folks, it's tough to go out in a boat by yourself. Derek and I were talking last night, and he said, yeah, I'm going to go out, wind, waves, all this, by myself. And I'm thinking, or you could come to the studio and share some time with me. Why did you get labeled the Blind Squirrel?
Well, you know, I'd rather be lucky than good. I think, you know.
We all would.
Right? So I've been very lucky in my life, blessed with marrying my high school sweetheart, 38-year relationship. I got
oh, to hell with marriage. How about fishing?
Two wonderful sons. And, you know, I said, yeah, you know, I'd rather be lucky than good. And my old man used to always say, you know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. And every once in a while, when all the planets align, you know, for that 1 minute, I catch a fish, and I feel like, you know, that's a great feeling.
But you go through torture to get out there.
Sometimes. I mean, yeah, this weekend, I had that gut feeling like maybe it's not a good idea. Big moon, and then I've been watching windy.com, 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and, you know, and I was telling myself, oh, just if it's too bad, you could turn around, or, hey, maybe there's nobody on the lake. You might, you know, no pressure on these fish. So you talk yourself into it, and you try to talk yourself out of it, you know, but the issue is I'm a weekend warrior, so I'm kind of like stuck fishing the conditions.
I have been there.
Right.
But now I'm the opposite of a weekend warrior. I never go anywhere on the weekends, and it's nice.
Yeah.
You go on weekdays, nobody's out there.
Well, this is my thing. This is my hobby. I'm chasing that, you know, I'm chasing Charlie, I say, you know. I'm trying to get that big one.
You chase Charlie, I'll chase Walter.
But, you know, I've been putting a lot of videos out for Berryessa, so if you want to know what's going on in Berryessa, you know, last month or so, I got 4 or 5 videos. I'm going over all my tackle, I'm going over my downriggers, everything that's working and not working.
He's sharing it all with you, folks. He's sharing his mistakes, he's sharing his successes with you, and that's what we all try to do. We learn by our mistakes and by some accidental things, like turning hard left in your boat and your line's back 100 feet behind the boat. Are dropping. One of them's going faster and rising up on one side, and one of them's sinking and going deeper on the other side. And you always catch a fish on that one that's sinking, but yet we go in a straight line after that again, unless we think that process through.
Yeah,
we weren't fishing deep enough.
You guys got me going on those tight S-turns, and I watch a lot of guys do these big, long runs, you know, and even Nate's kind of hit on it. You listen real closely to Nate. He's giving up the nuggets, but I've caught a lot of fish on these tight turns. It does make it a little tricky if you're running long lines, you know, and especially running planer boards, but
don't make stupid sharp turns.
Yeah, you got to hit that waypoint and work that waypoint tight. That's one thing I have learned, but, you know, it's kind of what makes my channel a little different in my mind is I'm sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, and I have some haters out there when I post a video when I've gotten skunked, you know, but also guys have also shared, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Or, you know, and so that's the thing. I've gotten more out of my channel than I've given. And I really like that.
Cut down on your mistakes by watching his.
Right? Yeah. So I'm out there, you know, it's a DIY approach, you know, 9 out of 10 times you see me out there by myself unless I can get my sons out of bed. And, you know, I'm like a show monkey, you know. I'm rubbing my belly and patting my head, and I got 2 rods going. I've got 2 motors going.
I've been there. I've done it. I've been that excited. But I've got a few more years under the belt than you now, and I know to just say, screw that, I'm going to the studio with Sepp tomorrow instead?
Yeah, this was the right call. I'm going to be back out on Berryessa. I'm going to be, going after it. I mean, this is the season we're all waiting for, but you get the conditions. But I'll take a little wind and chop over 100 degrees any day.
So will I. So will I. But I got to tell you, having this attitude and this energy to want to go, go, go is what makes you succeed. Because you're going to go, 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 and you're going to hook up one of these days with that inevitable monster fish. And if you think you're hooked now, you're going to be a lesser person afterwards, because you're going to be hooked and crazy from that day on, wanting to go after nothing but big fish. Join my club. It's nauseating running around and not getting it, but it's wonderful when you get one, and it's worth all the time you invest.
And that's what we're chasing. My dad used to tell me, if you want success in anything, you got to be willing to do more than the next guy. And I think this sport is a lot about perseverance. You got to work hard, stay active. It's not just a boat ride.
It's not just putting a line in the water.
That's right, work.
It's tying the right knot, it's knowing the right knot, it's knowing where to use swivels, it's knowing what speed, right color, right depth, right speed, right action, right vibration. It goes on and on and on. When you do everything right, you hook up. When you don't, you lose fish in trees, like I do.
Yeah, that's no fun. And that's the other thing you learn is patience. Nobody likes a grumpy fisherman. So you got to stay positive out there, because things happen, and that's just the nature of fishing. But, if you put your work in, the results are going to come, and it feels great, and that's what I'm chasing, feeling good.
Well, check out Derek Atade's YouTube channel called the Blind Squirrel channel. It's real. It's you, it's me, it's every one of us. Watch it and learn from it, and enjoy the entertainment that he gives you along the way. Thanks for hooking up with us. What's that line you always use?
Seth, thanks for having me. Feeling good. Let's go.
That's the let's go that's on every single one of them. Thank you, Derek. We appreciate you sharing with the listeners today. Let's go to Pyramid Lake and find out what's going on up there.